The Spring Grove Lions will open up the football season at home Friday night with a matchup that a lot of us wanted to see last year, but unfortunately it never materialized. Leroy Ostrander, Lyle Pachilli coming to town. Head coach Kody Moore joining us. And Kody, what type of preseason camp have you had? How ready are the guys to go?
I've been real pleased with our preseason camp. A big thing I've talked about that I like is the focus that we have, the environment at practice. That's been real positive stuff. Um, we do have 8 seniors here this year, so it's nice to have a big senior bunch. We lost 10, but we bring back 8. So those are a couple real big classes for us. And I've just been real pleased with the way those guys are kind of setting the tone for everybody else at practice. And like I said, the environment at practice is important, and I feel like that's been where we want it here to start out the season. So,
And I know you had an opportunity to see some other teams last Saturday in a scrimmage. How'd that go?
it was okay. I thought we started a little slow. Not to make excuses or anything, I guess, but a 9 o'clock start sometimes boys, teenage boys come out maybe a little sleepy, and I didn't really like the way we started that. We scrimmaged Houston there to begin with, and they really took it to us. That's a fast physical group, and I think it was a good wake up call for us in terms of the physicality that we have to play with. So that's a point that we're really going to hammer home this week, leading into another physical matchup against a really good Leroy program. Obviously, to start the year, it's always one of those things. It's kind of a guessing game as to what they're going to do, as you don't have film on them or anything like that. But I think if we can come out and play physical, that's the most important thing that we're going to focus on.
Can you really sense the need for the physicality without facing another team?
It's real difficult, just the way that practices are, or the way we practice now. And I know you could do it differently, but we want guys healthy, so we don't beat each other up, during practice. It's just not the way we do things anymore. Like it was back in my day. But you got to see live action, like you said, Darren. That's what it is, and I think that's why that preseason scrimmage is always important as well, to start to get guys geared up for that live action.
And when you look at your team right now, probably the area that got hit by graduation the most was probably the interior and the offensive line. How long does it take for an offensive line to gel and get together and do what you need them to do?
Well, you got to go through those battles. You got to go through those tough times. And it takes live action. It could be one of those things. Maybe it takes the whole season to figure out, the combination that you like. And, maybe that's not ideal, but that's the reality when you have a lot of turnover of what it can be. We're still trying to find those different pieces up front. We're filling big shoes. The good thing is, that creates a competition level in practice when you're trying to figure out who's going where, who's going to earn those spots. And, you know, I guess we'll see how long it takes, but, you kind of use that regular season to get all that stuff figured out for when it really counts there in the postseason in October and November.
And of course, Leroy Ostrander, Lyle Pachilli coming to town, state runners up last year. Basically, Section 1-9 man. If they make it to state, they usually go quite a long ways, and they were no exception. Obviously, they lost one Hunger Holt, but they've got another Hunger Holt coming back, which means it's probably a pretty good athlete at quarterback, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Real similar build type of kid. He even we're watching film there from a few years ago of our playoff game out in the snow, where we went out there, and he was playing as it would have been a freshman, I believe, at that time. So you can see the type of athlete that he is, and we would assume that they're going to try to do similar things in terms of really involving the QB in the run game, trying to use their extra numbers there at the point of attack that way. And so, if you look at one big key to the game of trying to limit a kid like that as much as you can. So, making sure we handle our business on offense and executing, and then making sure we limit him, and we'll see it. That first game is really a feeling out process. You learn a lot by halftime, I think, and then try to make adjustments as needed and go from there.
And obviously, there's a scouting report and getting your kids ready for what you expect Leroy Ostrander, Lyle Pachilli to do. But from your perspective, what do you want to see out of your guys come Friday night? The win is obviously what you want, but deeper than that, what do you want to see out of your kids?
Keep it real simple, relentless physicality, playing with emotion, playing with high energy. Those are really the things that that matter the most to us and what you want to see early on. We feel like if we bring relentless effort, physicality, energy, we give ourselves a good shot. And so, early in the season here, game one, that's what you want to see, because football is a physical and emotional game. And if we can focus on taking care of those things, we feel like everything else falls into place.
All right, Kody, should be a fun one come Friday night. Always good to get the season underway with a great matchup. Keep your guys healthy. We wish you best of luck.
Thanks a lot, Darren. As always, we really appreciate your coverage. Thanks for what you do for high school football.
Kody Moore, head coach of the Spring Grove Lions. Lions and Leroy Ostrander, Lyle Pachilli Friday night in Spring Grove.